So I'm a day trader. I've been doing it for a really long time, but for the past 6 months, I've been live streaming very consistently while I trade. So this has allowed me to see like the psychology of like other traders. Because a lot of times when I place a trade, people come in, they're in similar trades, they might be in the exact same trade as me, and I just get to hear their thought process as they're holding trade. And like me personally, obviously I was an unprofitable trader like a long time ago. It wasn't even that long of a time ago, honestly, but me personally, I was an unprofitable trader, and I can just see like a lot of common similarities between the people in the chat, and I can almost kind of relate to it. So in today's video, I just want to discuss like common similarities I see of people that I just believe are definitely unprofitable, like I see in my chat, right? So the first one is just like a mindset thing, right? Like for example, a lot of people come in and like the first thing they say is they're like, oh, like what trade are you taking? When are you buying? When are you selling? What's your take profit? What's your stop loss? And when you ask questions like this, like I don't care, but I do know that the place that's coming from is you're trying to copy my trade to the T, right? And why do people do this, right? They want the easy way out. Like trading's hard, right? If you don't see success with something and you see someone else is having success and you can copy them, like why wouldn't you, right? It's kind of like human nature. But at the end of the day, you're not going to grow doing that, right? Like I was even at a point when I used to copy another trader, and I do believe it gave me some value. But the only reason it gave me value is I always had the mindset this is a learning experience, right? Like you can watch another trader live trade, but there's two totally different mindsets you can have going in. You can either say, okay, I'm gonna blindly do whatever this guy does, or you can say, I'm gonna trade alongside this guy, and I want to use this like as a real world like experiment, right? Like I want to see how this actually plays out with someone doing it correctly, right? So you're observing, you're like mentally taking notes, right? And you're taking this just essentially as a learning experience. Because a lot of people that come in my chat, they don't care to learn. And like another thing that ties into that too is I always love to do recaps, right? So like when I finish my trade, it hits take profit, right? Like world like being like, yay, trade one. And I'm sure there's people in my chat that copied me and won, right? Like I'm like it's whatever, it's the name of the game. But they leave very quickly, right? Unless like there's something funny going on where like we're making jokes, we're all talking. But I feel like a lot of times I'll be like, okay, I'll do the breakdown of why I took this trade. And people just start dropping. And I'm like, you guys don't want to know why I took the trade? Like I just proved to you why this trade worked, and now I'm going to explain to you all my thought process behind it, and you guys don't want to hear it. So you're obviously just here to blindly copy. And the thing I was talking about too is like another thing is another reason why you should never be dependent on another trader is, let's say God forbid something happens to me. I'm driving to work, I get into a really bad car accident, right? How are you going to make money from then on if you're dependent on another trader? Or let's say one day I wake up and I'm like, oh, I hate live trading. I mean, I don't. I love live trading with all my heart. But let's say for some reason things change in the future, right? Like you don't want your income to be dependent on my decisions, right? Like that shouldn't happen. So building the skill is the end goal, right? And it's just I see all these questions and it's just like, guys, like I know you're blindly copying me. Like you want to learn something while you're here. And I try to like nudge them because like I do get it draws in some people and like hopefully they'll stay and they'll start learning eventually. But just essentially point number one, the main goal of my live trading or live trading in general should be education, not blindly copying. Because day trading is the hardest way to make easy money. It seems so easy on paper, but it's really not easy at all, right? So another common similarity is I feel like their psychology is just so messed up. Like I'll be going down in drawdown and they're like freaking out in chat. They're like, "Oh, I'm down this amount. I blew this account." I'm like, "Bro, how do you blow an account? Like if you're using proper risk management, you shouldn't copy like one of another person's trades and just magically lose the whole account. Like what happened to risk management? Just because I take a trade doesn't mean I'm right 100% of the time. Like I'm wrong too. Like I'm human." So yeah, and they're just their psychology's cooked, right? Like and another thing too is I've seen when like let's say the trade will go halfway to my stop loss, right? Then it starts going in my direction. I say, okay, I'm break even here. And there's people saying I'm out there. And I'm like, what do you mean you're out there? Like, so let's get this straight. You copied me originally because you just blindly wanted to follow my idea. And then you're gonna trust me for my entry, but then you're not gonna trust me for my exit. And like I feel like most times, like my exits not that bad. I mean, they don't hit all the time, but like in this specific case, I ended up hitting full take profit. And I was thinking with people in chat, I'm like, is it because you guys are not familiar with like profit? And honestly, I was thinking about it, like that's partially what it is. Like these unprofitable traders, they're not familiar with green. They're not familiar with profit. They think, oh, I got to grab this before it goes away like it always does, right? So they're closing out early. But like honestly, being a part of a profitable trader is honestly sometimes like you got to let your winners run. Like if every time my trade goes up a little bit, I just close it and my losers are still the same amount, right? Like I'm closing at a negative risk to reward, which is over time doesn't make sense, right? So far I've talked about they're coming for signals, not education. Their psychology is totally cooked. Number two. And three, I feel like they just don't have the proper information before coming to the stream. Because like honestly, like if you're pulling up to like a live trading stream, like honestly, you should have some background. Like because some people come in and they're like, "What's a fair value gap?" And I'm like obviously like I can answer questions, like it's cool, and like I'm not expecting everyone to know what a fair value gap is, but like if you're pulling up to an ICT trading stream, that's like asking like what's 1 plus 1. Like this is like the basic building block. Like we're gonna go very far past there, and I'm just not gonna have time to explain all these things to you. So it's like yeah, maybe you could watch an ICT trader like for once for like entertainment, see how it plays out. But like the thing is, if you're going to consistently watch an ICT trader, you should at least understand like what he's doing, like develop a good understanding of ICT concepts. And again, a lot of these questions I get asked too, I feel like they could be Googled. Like they're like, "Oh, well, what's the drawdown on this funded account?" And I'm like, "Guys, you're just showing me lack of kind of like common sense here." Like it's like, "Oh, what's the drawdown on Top Step 50K?" It's like, if I don't know the answer to this, what am I going to do? I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to Google it. And I've told people, I'm like, I try not to be rude about it, but sometimes in chat they'll ask me a question like that. I'm like, "Guys, I don't know the answer, but let's go through this together." I'm gonna open up Google. What's the profit target on a Hypertix 50K? Go to the website right in front of me, and they're like, "Oh, well, I have one more question though. What about the consistency?" I'm like, "Guys, you just watched me bring up the website, and there's something that says frequently asked questions." I'm like, "How about you go to the website yourself and click the button that says frequently asked questions?" And it's like it's kind of like a mindset thing, like I talked before, where I feel like they're just expecting me to spoon feed them so much. And it's like at the end of the day, like I'm live trading for free. Like you guys aren't paying me. Like I'm only gonna answer so many questions, and like the amount of spoon feeding some, and like oh my god, one last thing to wrap up with about like I feel like just lacking of like common sense or just like things that alarm me where it's like I feel like you're not really just having a full grasp of what's going on here. Like there was one guy in my TikTok chat, like dude, I'm not gonna lie, TikTok chat really be the worst. I feel like they're be the most brain rot. But there was some guy who came in and he's like saying to me, like first thing he says to me, "Are you gonna tell us when you get in?" Well, I think at first he was asking me, "Are you in? Are you gonna get in?" And first it's like, "Are you in?" Okay, one, how about we look at my screen? If there's no execution on the screen, like every time I take a trade, you can see my executions on the screen. No executions on the screen. Then you ask me, "I'm in a trade." I say no. Then you say, "When are you getting in a trade?" And I say, "Okay, well, I'm gonna wait for an inverse through this gap. What's your entry price gonna be? What's your stop loss gonna be? What's your take profit gonna be?" I'm like, dude, the setup hasn't even happened yet. Like we haven't even formed the gap. Like you're way too far ahead of yourself. And then he was like, "Okay, well, please just tell me when you enter." And I'm like, "Okay, whatever. I'll tell you when I enter." Like I always announce out loud when I'm entering. Like if you were there regularly, you know that. But so then I get in the trade. One, you can see on my screen, you hear the clink of me or entering the order. You see it on my screen. I verbally say out loud, "I'm currently getting in this position. I'm in buys. I'm putting my stop loss down here, putting my take profit up here. I'm going break even at this point." Like I narrate everything out loud. And then as I say, I'm moving stops to break even, bro has the audacity to come back in chat and say, "You never told me when you were entering." And it's like stuff like that where I'm like, I know this might sound so rude, but like, I don't know. Like, it's just like there's such like a lack of understanding. Like maybe trading might not be for you. Because honestly, like this probably sounds so rude to say. Trading takes higher cognition to a point. And some of these people, like I don't know what's going on in their head. Like, I don't know. I really can't be too mean, but like just especially on TikTok, some of these questions I get asked. Whew, okay. Yeah, let's calm down, Tim. But yeah, so essentially, those are like three commonalities I see between unprofitable traders. So if you yourself are an unprofitable trader and you can relate to any things I said, I'll just give you a quick conclusion, right? So essentially, always have the mindset you got to be 1% better every day. There's no such thing as like free money, free signals. Like every time, like if you do go out and watch someone who live trades, I do not encourage you to blindly copy them. If they take a trade that you agree with, that's cool. You can take it with them, but you always want to think like you were the final filter before a trade gets taken. Like if you watch me and I live trade and you think I'm such a good trader, just because I take a trade, if you don't agree with it, it does not mean that my logic should override yours, right? Discretion at the end of the day that you develop yourself is the end goal, right? Because me personally, I have my own discretion. I'm not right 100% of the time, right? Like you should be developing your own discretion. You should be just constantly learning, right? Just understand the concepts, and yeah, I guess just try not to be too brain rot. I guess I know it's maybe not the best piece of advice, but it's kind of true. I mean, honestly, I look at some of these people and I'm like, dog, like you're cooked. Like if if we can't Google something, how are we going to understand complex market structure? You know what I mean? But I'll stop being negative. But ooh, just looking at Nasdaq, getting distracted. Oh, my baby Nasdaq. I should stop. But yeah, so that was pretty much this whole video. So if you guys aren't in there already, I do have my free Discord. It's gonna be linked in the pinned comment. Also, I'm gonna link two prop firms I like, which are Tradeify and Alpha Futures. Tradeify has like select accounts, which offer like daily payouts, or you could get something similar to Top Step, which they call a flex plan. They also have Lightning funded accounts, which are like straight to funded accounts. They have 1 day pass accounts. Alpha Futures has 3 different account types as well, but they don't really have daily payouts or anything. But I think Alpha Futures has better live conditions by far. So if you do want to pick up any accounts at either prop firm, my discount code is code TIMB272. It'll get you the best current discount at either prop firm. So I highly recommend checking it out. And if you did watch this video all the way through, I'd really appreciate it if you give me a like, put a comment down below, and also subscribe. And one last thing, I do live trade every single week at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday to Friday. I trade Nasdaq Futures. So if you guys are interested in that, definitely come, pull up, hang out with me while I'm trading. See me take literally every single execution in live time. I'm not saying you guys should blindly copy me, but I mean, it will be there. But yeah, definitely pull up to my live trading streams. They're right here on YouTube. And sometimes I go live for Asia session as well. I mean, that's typically on TikTok. And I don't know how long I'll be doing that. As long as Asia keeps trending well, though, I'm honestly going to keep up with these Asia session streams. But yeah. So that was pretty much it. So I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Best of luck in your trading. Peace out.